Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader for the GameCube is an iconic Star Wars arcade flight sim and the sequel to the even more iconic Rogue Squadron. Recently, I had the opportunity to record an episode of Mike Albertin's Games My Mom Found podcast about said game. So I borrowed a GameCube, picked up a copy of the disc from my local used game store, and with a moderate amount of troubleshooting, got my old CRT TV up and running. First reaction, the game is rather difficult, especially if you're like me and haven't played many arcade flight sim type games in the last decade or two. The radar is difficult to follow. Dogfighting leaves some to be desired. There are numerous fail states in every mission, blah, blah, blah. This is definitely a game of its time. But as I continued to play, I came around on it. Every one of these games has a Battle of Hoth sequence, and every one of these games has a stressful moment where you have to take down an AT-AT with your harpoons and tow cables. In most games, that entails a weird claw grip, pushing a bunch of buttons on the controller and holding the thumbstick just so, hoping you did it right. In this game, your ship slows down, and the controls are just forgiving enough to make it feel like you're still flying the ship, even as you breathe a sigh of relief when you trigger the short cutscene of the walker going down. Not only that, but they bring back the mechanic in a later mission, and that muscle memory is still there. My favorite mission comes about 2/3 of the way through the game. Imperial Academy Heist is the story of Wedge stealing the shuttle Tidarium that Han and Leia use in the run-up to the Battle of Endor. I always love in books, comics, and in this case video games, when we get a little story that answers a question nobody asked. In general, if you take it in the context of its time, this game is pretty great. The visuals still hold up. There are only 10 main levels, but there are a ton of unlockable variations of those levels, and a bunch of great cheat codes to make the game just a little easier. If you keep running out of lives, there's a code to double your lives. If you can't get past a particular level, there's a code to unlock all the levels. And honestly, once you learn the tricks to completing a mission and put in the time to get your muscle memory down, you feel like you're the best star pilot in the galaxy. Thanks for watching.